Well, hello, hi. It is me, it is I. Small town Diddy late with a Real Housewives review because I'm like, oopsies, like a new episode is coming on tomorrow. I don't have a mic on today, but I'm like, I'm sorry, these people were here for a while and you didn't have a mic and they could still hear you. I don't ever I'm trying to do this before I lose light. Like a lot of Ganingi guys, like I don't have my stuff, right? And I'm a mess. I'm clearly a mess. Like I have a breakout, but episode 10 review, I am trying to get it out to you right before episode 11 comes out. Honestly, I think the reviews are coming in late because I do this, right? Like my week goes haywire from Wednesdays. I feel the need to explain that to you guys. Like my work week typically begins Tuesday and really goes to shits from Wednesday. Like Wednesday is really my Monday. And I always promise myself I'll do it at the weekend, but I'm so exhausted at the weekend that Monday is really the only day I'm able to sit and talk to you guys. But I feel like I just need to find a better way to do this if I'm saying I'm going to do reviews, you know? Give me a second. Okay, so I just feel like I'd be honoring your time a lot better by doing that. I think I like my things on time and I'm promising nothing. I'm just giving an explanation for my life. But let's get into it. We open with I'm bored, guess, and the episode was just it gave something there at the end, but we have Angel linking up with Sisha at Ocean's Mall. Angel lets us know in the scene that her mom is not doing well. The thing is, it's Angel. And I'm like, is this real or is this Angel putting stank on it? Because she wants to get people off of her. She wants sympathy. She wants to explain away her behavior. Because how she behaved at that like little retreat, little getaway thing they had in the Hennigsburg, like, well, not Hennigsburg, Drakensberg, where they were out at some resort, wherever. I feel like she's trying to explain her behavior away. We've seen her put like a little extra on what's happened. And so personally to me, she's the boy who cried wolf. Like she needs to prove the things she says to me. And it would be unfortunate. Like, look now where we are. Now I have to doubt whether or not your mother is really ill or if you're trying to get out of a sticky situation. You know? She also, Sarisha also asked, since we had the party and you have a clean bill of health and as far as like, your reproductive situation is concerned, where you at with that? Because I know you were partnered. Remember, she's partnered to somebody, to the little brother of Ayanda, who's really good friends with Sarisha. And she's like, no, I had to call that a day. It is what it is. I think it's rubbish that they filmed a couple of scenes with these people and now we're getting a lackluster to basically no explanation for this breakup. It's honestly what. Amy goes to a therapist. This is a good scene, Amy goes to a therapist. She says that she's never really felt safe to let out for multiple reasons. One of them being that she's the eldest of her siblings and she's felt like she's had to take care of other people. She feels like she became a mother too young. There was just no time to stop and take in anything, to stop and try to analyze what's going on with her because life kept happening and things kept unfolding, And she has a good session. She breaks down in this session and her therapist challenges her to learn how to let go, how to forgive and try to start over. I think speaking specifically to the issue of the father of her kids, because she doesn't really, she said to us in the earlier episode when we met her that she doesn't allow this man to have access to the kids because of just things that have happened with them and the nature or his nature. But she says that her son is now asking about where the dad is and things like that, and it's difficult maneuvering that for her. I hope she stays in therapy. She seems receptive to psychotherapy, so I'm hoping she stays. I think it would benefit her because she seems responsive to it. She went into it in what seems to me like with an open mind. Annie links up with Slee. It's always good seeing Annie on camera, but I'm very confused. Is she a friend of the show? Does she get paid to be seen? Is she just showing up because the scene needs her? or they feel like the scene needs her. I don't know. Okay. But Annie links up, and apparently she's like a brand person. Like, I don't know if we met the side of her when she was on the actual show. Like, I'm actually not sure if we met the side of her. But Slee's like, no, I asked her here because, you know, she's a sort of a brand strategist for like what did she say she is? But that's what they came to talk about. So she's like, no, Slee's like telling her that I'm launching this line and I want your help. So she's asking for specifics and stuff. But the scene really for me was for them to scan her and for her to have Annie in scene at the launch that was not a launch. Because all of my friends was like, TB, it feels like they keep bringing Annie in scene to balance out the numbers. And I'm like, in as much as people keep saying that Sisha is an executive producer and she gets favorable edits and this and that, it's not lost on me that every time they need to give us some raw footage of something that didn't make the cut that the ladies are fighting about, and it's Nonko and Jojo who said it, they seem to not have that footage, right? These women are mic'd half the time that these things are happening, especially the comment with the dress. I feel like they could give us that footage. Whatever, they were already mic'd. They were sat at the table. They were already mic'd. They really can't give us the footage so we can figure out what Sisha thinks she heard. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, she lets Slee lets Annie know that, you know, a lot's been happening with Maria. Personally, this is Slee now saying that I feel like Maria feels like it needs to be a hard line. Like, either I'm with Jojo on the side or I'm with Soso on the side, and there's no in between. And I'm just like, I walked away from this episode actually feeling rather heavy for Maria. And I'll get into it in a little bit. But like, Maria also annoys me when she does shit like this. Like, her and Neil went to get like a polygraph, like a lie detector test, over the riding and sitting on decks. Like, she is the epitome of a bored housewife, right? That shit is not entertaining. She's the epitome of her and Neil sit around, Neil being the accessory to her life and her not having a life. Can you imagine being the accessory to somebody who doesn't even have, oh wow, I could never. And they like come up with, oh, this would be cute. Maybe we could shoot, because they can't shoot at her house. You guys know I don't post much on my TikTok anymore, right? But I posted a little TikTok and it actually did like cute numbers, nothing wild. Okay, I don't know what's happened to it. Like, I checked on it, like, I haven't been back on. I will log back in and I will engage with the responses, because you guys, I realized the thing is, my views have been suppressed on that account because I wiped everything and stopped posting for like months and months. But my For You page on there is better for generating content than my work account. So lately, I've been logging back in, seeing what's trending, seeing if there's anything I care to talk about and do a story about. But whenever I post something, it wouldn't do numbers. And I haven't posted much. I think I've probably posted 4 or 5 things, right? It wouldn't go up to like the thousands kind of view, right? And the last time I made a comment just talking about Maria's like standards when it comes to the other ladies versus Jojo. And I think the last time I checked on it, it was on like 15k views and 60 comments. And I didn't understand where it was coming from, but I think it's a testament to the show. The show is just doing well. And I posted it fresh on the heels of the episode airing. I think that's what happened. But that also made me realize, yes, I veered off now. I do this a lot. If you're new here, hello, hi, thank you. I go off on tangents. And thank you for stopping by, is what I'm saying. But what was I saying? Oh, I was saying TikTok is now, I think it's always been overwhelming, but because I took guys, the break has been long. It's been months. When I did, and I logged back in the account and people went, I was like, 60? Who's supposed to reply to 60 people? Who's supposed to be like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God. I don't care enough about that account to. Anyway, they go for a polygraph test. This is Neil and Maria. The guy who's doing the test is equally like puzzled and annoyed and just like, oh Father God, why is this my job? Like, why? They also, it's like, it was a great idea when we're chatting about it on WhatsApp and over like a glass of bubbly. But now in scene, we feel and look as pathetic as this shit is. That's what they were giving to me, especially when they called Zama. That man is just sitting there looking awkward. Anyway, Maria says she's been vindicated as like not being a dick rider. She really has nothing going on for her to hold on to this, go to these lengths and run with it to this degree. This did not need this scene. This needed her to link up with Amy and then hash it out. That's it. But anyway, Slee goes for a pool date with her friend Slee. And they're in the pool. She's like, I have something to tell you. This is Amy to Slee. And Slee's like, are you pregnant? She's like, are you pregnant? That's me. Whenever one of my friends calls me and they sound panicked and scared, baby, I think they have a baby inside them. Because that is the most life-transforming thing for me. Like, that's the only thing that can send me into panic like that. Death or some, like, a stranger in your belly. Like, so I understood. And she's like, no, I'm done with that. But I went to go see a therapist, and she also encouraged me to work on, like, forgiveness and let it go. I'm even yawning from these ladies. And no, that's not why I'm yawning. I had carbs for lunch. I'm too full. I had 2 slices of bread with avo and acha, like toasted. Oh, buttered. I fell off my diet a little bit. We'll talk about that a different time. When I'm back on and I'm feeling great about myself. I actually want a green tea right now. I'm trying to, but really, I'll probably have that and still have a coffee. That's the type of person I am. And then she's like, maybe you can try to forgive Zama. This is Slee now. And Amy's just like, no, I'll never forgive her. I feel like Amy should not have accepted Zama's apology in scene all those episodes back at Jojo's house. Simply, for me, the thing is, I don't feel like Zama was sorry. Zama didn't even say sorry if you go back to watch the scene. It's all of this, if it looked like or if it felt like. But I feel like the pressure cooker, that is that moment where you're doing a back and forth with somebody and then they like haphazardly, if you would like, just is like, they're like, oh, can I do, like, I don't know, they do the performance, they do the right thing. And now it's on you to try and accept an apology that perhaps you weren't ready to receive. But on top of everything, we can't forget that Maria went back to Amy and said, well, Zama said this and that, after she had accepted this half-hearted apology. For me, what Zama did, Amy could have held on to that. She could have said to Zama, because Zama, she tried to correct Zama in scene so many times, but Zama was insisting on being a dog with a bone with that, well, that's what the streets are saying stuff, She didn't see it snowball the way it did. And when it did, she was trying to clean it up to save face. I don't think she was sorry. Personally, I don't think that. I decided on a coffee. It wasn't working. And I'm losing light so fast. This is... Num num. So good. We have Uncle Viv in scene. Uncle Viv is always going to come through to sell us something. And in this case, he's trying to sell us his self-produced documentary on his life. I always find these cringe and disgusting and like indulgent in the most like narcissistic way possible. Self-produced anything, like guys, imagine P. Diddy or Pori shooting some. What all you think they're going to include and exclude in there? What all? We learned that Viv bought his kids a penthouse, or each, right? Because they did so well in school. Bitch! Yo! Wealth makes me, it's like I watch Real Housewives the way I watch it because part of it is the wealth porn, or what it, the original was that it is this like wealth porn, kept wife, Barbie core, trophy wife, that was part of the draw. But I'm also the type of person who's so aware of how wealth is amassed that I'm queasy and like repulsed at the same time. It's that accident scene, right? You don't want to look, but you're also like that's me, Oh my God, I need help. I do. Viv tells us that I'm sorry, does Amakosa have a store at Oceans Mall? Because it's also quite like Viv to wear some shit that he sells at the mall. I'm sorry. And so she's like, oh, remember when we started out, they gave us 4 years. They were like, I'm going to leave as soon as I'm done with you. So. You're there because the money hasn't run out. Okay. If it had, you would have definitely done that because it's an exchange. This is a much older man. You're an attractive, much younger woman. All right. The transaction is very much lending you my youth so you look good. I make you look good when I'm on your arm, and you provide me a plush life with like pugs galore and stuff. And if he was no longer able to provide that, you would be stupid to stay. Like, who are you? Bye, girl. Love flourishes in money. I've also realized, like, it's easy to stay in love when there's money. I really believe that. I've seen many couples, like, bicker and argue, and then, like, something happens. And then they're in love because they can go away and have experiences where they can forget about the fact that the core of their problems is that they have conflicting beliefs, and just focus on like how pretty the Maldives are. Like money makes like love flourish. Really does. Slee calls her dad. I have a video down from this one. I'm gonna post this video. Right under this video is God knows what. What is under this video? Because under that is where I tell you guys that you don't need to be talking to your no good daddies. Or it's right under it. I can't even remember. But I talk about Slee because she's stressing me the fuck out, pushing to have a relationship with this person who's not keen on putting in effort with her simply because, she came from his sack. That's it. That's all. He was supposed to get you here. He's done that. It breaks my heart, this father wound. I don't have the same exact wound. Hers is that her dad is essentially absent. And she still seems to be in the roller coaster of like, the child that sits around and waits for their dad. Are people really home right now? For fucking real? I thought I had another hour. You guys, this video is a mess. And I'm going to keep it, guys. And Slee calls her no good absent daddy to tell him that, can you imagine being that anxious to call your own parents? And she's like, I don't know how this phone call is going to go. Like, this person might just hang up on me and whatever. And you're that anxious. She's stuck in that cycle of the little girl who waits, by the gate because dad said he's coming this weekend. She literally says this in her own words. And then he just doesn't come. Promises have been made. She says to her dad. And she says to her dad, would you be open to go into therapy with me? This fucking bitch nigga says to her, no, I don't really talk about my problems, my baby. I don't talk to anybody about, you also don't talk to your fucking kids, according to Slee. If they don't, she also says that her relationship with this man has been telephonic more than anything. that's been her relationship with this man. It really, I guess she has to go through it. She's the eldest daughter of 16 kids. So I said in that video that I feel like she's essentially auditioning to come and be a caregiver to this person who's never cared a damn about her. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and I feel a lot of people in this country can probably relate to what she's going through. And then we're at the last scene. That is Slee's fashion show, honey. Like inspired by Sheree over there from Real Housewives of Atlanta, a fashion show with no fashions. She tried to do a cute little spin on it, but I'm glad she was honest about it in the confessional, in that her fashions just didn't arrive, which is odd to me. You know, Amy, for her tea party, she was also supposed to launch like a loungewear, but she canceled that part of the invite with her planner because when she went to go and see her manufacturer or her designer, or both of them, she saw that she was not gonna have her things out on time. Those things weren't gonna come out when they were supposed to come out, so she canceled that part. So in terms of Slee, I'm like, when did she realize that the fashions weren't gonna be there, but continued with this? So everybody shows up in scene, guys. When Nonko arrives, they play How I Love Jesus. Go look at all the intros when the ladies draw in. When Nonko arrives, they play Oh, How I Love Jesus. And she comes out in leopard print. I don't know why they did that. First I was like, everything was okay. Why did it just get church? Like, go watch it. I don't know how they did that. But they did. Everybody trickles in. Zama is not there. Slee had invited everybody. People trickle in. Sisha arrives with somebody we haven't seen before. And apparently this is somebody who is not getting along with Neil right now. I think his name is Warren. I guess the social scene is very small. All the gays that are willing to be accessories to these women's lives all know each other, I suppose, you know. And they arrive to this thing that Slee has put together, and Slee saves the day by saying, you know, but everybody's like, really, girl? Is that why? Okay, we'll run with it. I felt like Rich coming from Nonko to be like, she's so disorganized. She doesn't know the first thing about heaven, because my memory is not that short. I remember when you had a sommelier that couldn't tell us a damn thing about the most basic wine cultivars. Basic. Okay? At your wine tasting. Do you remember that? Because I do. Slee and Nonko annoy me. Like, Slee and Nonko really need to sit down, and I don't know what. But they look for moments to jab at each other, and when they do, it's like, and then it's like, where did that come from? That wasn't even that. Like, honestly, they need to sit down and hash. And I'm not saying Slee is not justified as to where she's coming from, seeing how Nonko treated her last season, but good Lord. This cannot be every time we're in scene, somebody throws a little something and then it's a fight. Every time. Oh my God. Slee lies about it. She's like, oh yeah, I was very vague about the invite. I wanted to see what you all's interpretation was on summer and sunsets or whatever the theme was, so that I could draw inspiration from you ladies and your interpretation of this theme and try to incorporate that into my line. Sana, please don't ask me why I'm holding your face right now. Like, don't ask me that. Like, oh, I've never been so annoyed in my fucking life ever. Like, this is what it looks like to be an underachiever who's still living at home in adulthood. This is the shit I'm telling you about. People are home. People are calling you. People are yelling out for you. People are just, there's no peace. There's no quiet. There's no time for you to like take a deep breath and do some shit that you want to do. None of that. None of that. I can't record back here today because everything is everywhere and I'm still working. So I can't pack it away just to sit down and record. I don't have my ring light, so I need the natural light so you guys can actually see that you're chatting to me. And not like, I don't know, like Ramaniskara or some weird creature. Like, Slee and Uncle go at it for God knows what. Slee says something like, if I'm gonna, the gift bags that I've arranged for you guys, please don't chew or draw my gift. If you remember, Nonko did that last season. With the gifts that Slee had got for everybody. And, everybody, oh, Annie chuckles, people laugh about it, you know, and she's like, well, the only thing I'll be chewing are gummies. This is Nonko now. Then Slee attacks Nonko's sobriety, which can be questioned because she did substitute one substance for the other, right? And then she's like, what are you using? At least I can. And then Slee says that she uses alcohol. It's like none of you are doing better than the other. Well, babe, like I don't know what to tell you. If this is your first time here, ne? Okay. I am sorry. That's all I can say to you. That is all I can say. I do like pink, don't I? I'm seeing about myself just now. But anyway, Maria talks about the polygraph test that she took, and then her and Neil decide that they're gonna address Angel. Neil's like to Angel, I feel like I've always been very respectful towards you. The thing is, I can't even talk about this and take it seriously to me because like they really did put 20 and 10 and they made it something that it's not. It became about Maria being a mother, like Neil's sexuality. It became, when all it was about was, yes, that's your husband, but you sitting on top of him was inappropriate. And I said in the last review, I feel like Amy just threw that in there because they were in the middle of a fight and it sounded salacious. But I don't think really she thinks that Neil and Maria are doing anything inappropriate, like khana-khaning on behind her husband's back or nothing like that. I don't really think she thinks that. But throwing it out there implies that, or at least it says you're being inappropriate. Because when she initially said it, it was like, shocking. Then we learn it's Neil and it disarms it, right? That right there could have been how we let it go. But Maria has nothing else going on. So it had to become a thing, and it's like, I'm a mom. I can't have the show turn into people being mothers and therefore beyond reproach. I am so sorry. I can't play that game. You guys give birth and then like you are sanctified. Like in your heads, you are Saint Maria, which is possible. Maria does have a good name change, right? Like, you're saying to me, ever now, we can't say anything because now it's a whole, you're a mom. You're a mom. Don't be on the show then. Honestly, I don't know how to say this. The things that the women come at you for already can be weaponized against your kid. So don't be on the show. You see, if you're gonna nitpick what thing is like appropriate and inappropriate to say to a mom, we're heading into weird territory. I don't know about this turf and I don't want to be involved. Like, Amy apologizes because I suppose from her perspective, she sees it as well. And she's like, first and foremost, before anything, you're a mother. Actually, before she's anything, she's Chantal. I think that's where a lot of you women experience a lot of problems, in that your identities are so wrapped up in being a mom, and you can cop that to me not being a mom and maybe I won't get it, but you are a person. You're very valid. Like, your existence is enough before you have these people come out of you. Like, believe it or not, she's Chantal. Like, before she's anything else, she's actually just her. And that's enough. Like, don't say that to this woman outside of her being a mom. Don't say it because it implies this and that's not what the fuck it is. Like, that's okay. She apologizes. Maria, which is what I said in the TikTok, is like, it's gonna take her a while to really work through this apology because, it's not from JoJo. That's really why. The fight wasn't with JoJo and the apologies not with JoJo. Like, again, it's like with the Angel thing. there's no leverage in staying friends with this person or trying to build a friendship with them. So I can take or leave their apology, or I can act more mad than I actually am because they're not JoJo. Like with JoJo, my chances of staying on the show are, I really want to be picked by JoJo. Everybody else, I can throw away. You know, with everything we found out about Maria on the show in terms of like her saying that she's never been enough, why she's gone through, she's cryptic about it. So now we have to fill in the blanks for her. That I'm going to deduce what she said to physically there was always something to pick at for her. So when she was able to start getting the little nips and tucks and tweaks and, you know, little it snowballed and it got out of hand because she was trying to finally be enough. And being in this group for me is yet again feeding that insecurity in that little girl who is Chantal this woman clearly wants to be picked. This woman changed her identity, changed her name to get picked by a man. Maria wants to be picked bad. And it's not a, oh my God, Maria wants to be, it's sad. It's like I want her to experience being enough. But first of all, she might want to experience being enough for herself. She might want to pick herself before she wants other people to pick her. Because this is not working. It's not working for her. You stand to get hurt and to be used when you're constantly trying to vie for the affection of people who have you playing second fiddle anyway. Like, you'll always come second or third to Slee and Annie in Soso's life. And you'll always come second in terms of friendship, that is. You'll always come second in George's life because Nonko occupies that first spot. So you're constantly going to be doing this and bending yourself out of shape, having to abandon your better senses to fit whatever role you want to play that day. If you just choose you, like authentically, just be you. She has this nervous laugh as well. I don't know if anybody has picked up on it, but we all have our towels and our tics, right? But it's like, Maria makes me sad, guys. I actually walked away from this just like, I really hope she finds a sense of belonging or sense of self or something, because she's bright, actually. She's able to articulate herself very well. She, you know, like I said in previous reviews, like, she's having to now reduce herself to being a fucking stooge, like literally allow a person who's like not as smart as her to be the boss of her in JoJo. JoJo could never hold the same conversations that Maria holds, but like in this space, socially, she holds a position that Maria really covets, and therefore Maria wants to be chosen by, yo, said it up by Maria, guys. But anyway, Angel's like, on that note, I want to apologize to you, Maria. I feel like what I did to you was wrong and I'm sorry. To which Neil then responds, can you stop doing it though? Because you keep coming with the apologies. You know, it's this and it's that. And Maria's like, since we're on this apologizing tour, you also owe Nonko and Georgia an apology. I don't know about what, baby. But Angel's like, I feel like apologies need to be sincere. And I'm not there yet with them. Like, I don't feel like I want to apologize to them about anything as yet. And then her and Nonko now go at it. Earlier on, when Annie arrived in scene, Annie said something about, oh, you guys are still doing this camps thing. It's so childish. And Nonko was like, oh, don't use that word. It's so triggering. To which Angel was like, oh, maybe to senior citizens. And then it was like a whole joke. Nonko now stands up and shows her body that she went, like she bought that body. That's the other thing about you girls who buy bodies. Like, I'm fine with you bitches buying bodies. I'd buy a body if I wasn't like broken shit. Actually, I say that, but I'm actually afraid of surgery. But like, I get it. Like, I'm not like, oh, she bought it. Oh, hers is real or whatever. But it's like, also, if you've bought it, don't get up in the middle of a fight and say, look at me, I'm a mother of whatever. You want to look this good when you don't do all that either. Why are you doing that, Nonko? Nonko stands up, you know, because she's feeling herself. This is the hardest she's probably ever felt in her life, which is great. She paid for it. They're arguing her and Angel. Angel's like, I'm half your age. Oh, you wish you looked this good. Me, when fights are about like stupid stuff like this, I can't engage. I can't engage. It feeds into things that I just don't want to be a part of. Maybe it's all my body image issues that I'm just like, what. But they go at it, that ends. Slee's like, since we're on this tip, Mabusi's in the scene. There was a scene where Mabusi's just eating a bone. I think it's when these two are arguing. I don't know. She's like with a bone, like just like what's going on? Like, why did Corona? Like, what is this? You know? But she apologized to Jojo and Jojo accepts the apology. You guys, I actually have a clip. I cut my clip of from a longer video, a longer review, where I really talk about how I feel about Mabusi and the fact that she's been wronged by Jojo, and I don't think she owes Jojo an apology, and Jojo is not this big victim. I'm gonna post that clip as part. It's from that video. That video is very long, so I'm just gonna post that clip so we understand exactly how I feel, and that is fuck Jojo. In as far as her and Mabusi are concerned. But they let bygones be bygones. They let it rest. Great. So Risha then says, if I misheard when I spoke about the dress issue, I'm sorry about that. Maria in the confessionals feels like she shouldn't speak on something unless she's sure about it. But the truth of the matter is Maria wasn't at the table when this stuff that they refused to give us any footage for allegedly transpired. So I don't know why her voice in the confessional was the one for us to hear when she accused the other ladies of saying something about the dresses. She accused Jojo and Nonko of skinnering about Slee and I think Amy's dress or their dresses. So I don't know why. Anyway, but we all know that Maria really just doesn't like Sarisha. She doesn't. She looks for moments to attack Sarisha. She does. And that's not me saying Soso's perfect. That's just me saying Maria does that. Then Soso invites them on the trip, you know, and she also points out that maybe when they get there, people shouldn't get to sleep or choose their rooms with their besties, because that's how the separation and the cliques are happening. This felt very much like production was like, okay, guys, you need to go and say sorry so that we can go away on the trip and act like we're starting off on a fresh whatever. But anyway, that's it. That's what that happened. Looking forward to the next episode, actually, because they're going away. Mwah. Bye, Yala.